afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this episode of MSME Masterclass. We are pleased to welcome Mr. Ashutosh Gokhale, Director of Oilmax Systems Pvt Ltd, to today's MSME Masterclass session on reducing maintenance costs and manufacturing and construction plants. Mr. Gokhale is a seasoned industry leader with over 40 years of experience in electrical and mechanical systems, spanning both industrial and marine applications. He founded Oilmax Systems in 1995 with a clear focus on developing cost-saving, maintenance-friendly innovations for heavy-duty environments. Under his leadership, Oilmax has become a trusted name in the filtration, waste compaction, and hydraulic oil cleaning domain, solutions that are critical to improving equipment life, reducing downtime, and enhancing operational efficiency. His products are widely used by both ship management companies and manufacturing facilities, thanks to their proven results and long-term value. An electrical engineer by training, Mr. Gokhale brings a rare depth of understanding of both design and field-level performance. His prior experience with companies like Kirloskar, Lucas, and SRF Nippon Denso has given him a holistic view of OEM after-sales and service ecosystems. Today, he will share actionable insights on how MSMEs in the manufacturing and construction sectors can significantly lower the maintenance costs through practical, scalable interventions ranging from fluid management to preventive care systems. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Ashutosh Gokhale. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, I've already introduced the topic for our attendees, which is reducing the construction plans. And I'll move on to our first question for the session today, which is, what are the most common mistakes that Indian MSMEs make that end up inflating maintenance costs over time?
Mainly the maintenance or preventive maintenance is generally required for rotating machines. So in industry, we will find there may be some static equipments. So static equipment like maybe electrical control panels or such kind of equipment, there is no rotation or movement. In such equipments, the preventive maintenance or regular maintenance requirements are not so regular. But otherwise, most of the manufacturing processes or equipments like mining equipments, earthmoving machinery, etc., involve some kind of a rotating machinery. For example, engines, compressors, turbines, CNC machines, hydraulic equipments. So whenever there is any equipment which is having either a rotating movement or a sliding movement, that will require some kind of a lubrication to keep the wear and tear low and to keep the machine working in a proper condition. So this is the area where mostly the maintenance requirement and preventive maintenance requirement becomes very critical. So
So from your 4 decades of experience, can you help our attendees understand which areas of plant maintenance often go unnoticed until they become a significant cost burden?
Yeah, so I think the main area means as long as the machinery is working, the main area where not much of attention is given is for the media which is lubricating the equipment. For example, if it's a engine, then it is the engine oil which is basically preventing any catastrophic failure. So keeping a engine oil clean is a very critical requirement, and that is area maybe not much of attention is given. Similarly, if you see a hydraulic system, hydraulic systems are operating at very high pressures, sometimes maybe several hundred bars, and at very high pressure, even minutest of contamination can cause a major damage and a catastrophic failure. So these are the areas. For example, hydraulic system, normally people are maybe using and sometimes cleaning once in a year, or in many companies or many organizations, we have found that for years together, this oil is not clean. And the idea is that when we go and talk to them, then they say that so far it's working fine, there is no problem. So this is the mindset that as long as there is no problem, that means everything is okay. Or as long as there is no problem with the oil, or oil is in good condition. but the failure requires machinery failure requires only a fraction of second. So even if the machine is running good for maybe 2 years or 3 years, in a fraction of second it can have a major failure. So this aspect of keeping the oil, monitoring the oil condition, and at a regular interval, maybe every month or every quarter, is will reflect if there is any issue with the condition of the oil. And if there is an issue, then it can be attended immediately, instead of waiting for that oil to degrade to a level where it will cause a major failure.
Got it. Now, sir, can you share an example, a real life example, where a simple cost change, low cost change had a big impact on reducing maintenance expenses?
Yeah, so this is mainly in the hydraulic systems where we had approached a customer, and that hydraulic oil tank capacity is somewhere around 400 or 500 liters, but this oil was not attended to for more than 3 years. And then there was a major failure of the valves in the machine, and the valve cost runs into lakhs. More than 1 lakh rupee is costing of one valve. So then there was a sudden failure of the valve, which resulted into expense on the valve replacement, as long as also with the production downtime of almost 2 days, because there is lead time to get the valve and then replace it. So 2 days production loss of one machine also ran into several thousand rupees. So other than the replacement cost of the equipment and the downtime of the machine. So this was a major expense which was to be required to be incurred by that organization, because not tending to the oil at a regular interval.
Got it. Moving on, so how can MSMEs balance between preventive and breakdown maintenance without over-investing in either of them?
I think that there are some very low-cost equipments also available. For example, for hydraulic oil testing, there are kits available which are costing less than 20,000 rupees. And the test can be carried out by even not very skilled manpower in just about 10 to 15 minutes time. So if this kit is used for regularly checking the oil condition, which is not very expensive, means 20,000, less than 20,000 is quite a reasonable cost, and which can save a major production and equipment downtime. So this kind of equipments or kits can be used by MSMEs, and a person can be assigned a work maybe once in a week or once in a month. If the equipment is tested, the time required is hardly 15 minutes. So these can help in saving huge cost and also the saving on the production downtime.
Got it. So, what are some early warning signs that MSMEs should look for to prevent equipment failure and downtime?
Early warning signs, one may be any rotating equipment, it has some problem, then there may be some kind of increase in the vibration levels or noise levels, which are the telltale signs that there may be something wrong with the machine. Or sometimes the output also may be reduced. For example, in the engine, if there is a more blow by, the power output can go down, which can be felt by the operator. So noise, vibrations, and output power, these may be telltale signs to indicate that there may be something wrong with the equipment.
Okay, got it. And how does poor lubrication management contribute to the overall maintenance cost, and what best practices would be recommended from your end?
Now, lubrication management and monitoring is definitely a very important aspect. And as I said, that there are low-cost equipment also available. And what can be done is that at a regular frequency, these low-cost equipments can be used for the on-site monitoring of the lubricants. And at a fixed interval of maybe once in a 6 months or a year, some samples can be tested for more parameters in laboratories. So now there are testing laboratories available almost in all major centers. And these laboratories have fully equipped to test all the parameters of the lubricants. So maybe a frequency can be decided that small regular monitoring at the site, and once in a 6 months or once in a year, other parameters which are important but cannot be tested at the site. For example, in hydraulic oil, what can be tested at the site is the particle contamination by a testing kit. But a next level of testing like total acid number, which is also important parameter for hydraulic oil, or viscosity, which cannot be tested at the site. Once in a 6 months or a year, sample can be sent to the laboratories for testing these parameters. So if these parameters are okay, regular testing is anyway done at the site. So that can help in the monitoring. And other than the equipment cost maintenance, even the oil life extension can also help in saving the operating expenses.
So we've seen a lot of MSMEs work on machines that have been in their organizations for years at stretch, which are older machines, PC machines and stuff like that. Can you tell our attendees what are the practical steps to begin predictive maintenance without heavy investments in these machineries?
So one thing I feel is that the first knowledge about the equipment maintenance. So the equipment supplier also can guide in imparting this knowledge, but sometimes there is not much of eagerness to know about the machine. If the equipments are installed, then the user should have its eagerness to know about the equipment and about the maintenance practices of the equipment. So many times, or maybe few people in the organization know. So that knowledge or training should be percolate to the downstream and the operating level also. So if the only few people in the organizations are aware, but operating people are not aware of the issue, then they cannot highlight any problem which they notice. For example, in CNC machines, there is the issue of tramp oil. Means the layer of the oil comes on top of the coolant. So many of the operating people are not aware that what is the adverse effect of that oil, because that oil doesn't really immediately give any the problem or any issue in the machine. So the tramp oil or the level of the oil on top of the coolant causes bacteria to grow. So operator may know that there is a bad smell from the coolant, or there is irritation to the skin, but the reason for that bacteria growth may not be known by all the operating level. So the reason is the a layer of the tramp oil which causes bacteria to grow. So there are equipments available which can remove that tramp oil. The equipment costing again not more than 20,000 rupees are available. So if these equipments are installed on the machines, this bacteria growth can be stopped, which can lead to better work environment and also better the product quality. So this knowledge percolating to the operating staff is also very critical for maintaining the equipments.
Now, sir, tell us, in your opinion, have you seen any cost-saving impact from adopting centralized lubrication or oil filtration systems? Could you elaborate that with an example?
Yes, for example, I can even name a company, Escorts, where we approach them, and they have a quenching oil tank of approximately 10,000 liters. The quenching oil is a heat treatment process where the job is immersed into the oil for hardening. And because this job is heated in a furnace at a very high temperature, so when that job is dipped into the oil which comes in contact of the component starts burning and creates carbon soot. So if the carbon soot level goes more than 3 or 4% in the oil, that causes blackening of the jobs, and also it affects the heat treatment quality. So this 10,000 liter oil, when we had approached this customer, was on the verge of replacement because the soot level had become very high. So that cost was running into several lakhs. So then a suggestion was given to filter that oil. And when this equipment was installed to filter the oil, in 1 month period, approximately 300 kg sludge was removed from the oil. And then oil quality became back to the almost the normal level, and it was continued to be used for several more years. So this saving was more than about 20 lakh rupees just by the filtration. So this filtration equipment can take care of the physical impurities in the oil. And idea of the any filtration system is basically to take out the physical impurities. So the chemical life of the lubricants can be fully exploited. Now there may be a case where the oil has a chemical life left. Suppose further 3-year chemical life is left. That means all chemical properties are good, but the contamination level is very high. So if a filtration equipment is used, it can take care of the contamination level, and oil anyway has a good chemical life left, which can be tested in the laboratory. So the optimization of oil life can be achieved by regularly cleaning or filtering that oil.
Got it, understood. Now, sir, in your view, what role does management mindset play in sustaining a cost-efficient maintenance strategy?
Management mindset. Yeah, management mindset, because the decision to implement these kind of activities or spending on these equipments obviously comes from the management. So if the management is interested or keen in sustainability or getting better life of the equipment and cost reduction, so those directors are definitely helpful in implementing these systems. So management has to be interested in implementing, and the implementing team also has to be. So it's a team effort. Management decides to go in for it, and implementing team puts their effort in implementing it.
So what's your advice to MSME founders who are still treating maintenance cost as a cost center instead of a strategic investment?
So advice is that we may save cost for some time, but it may lead to a major expenses at one stroke. So maybe we feel that for this year or this month or this quarter we have saved cost, but that cost may go into a very high expense after a year or two. So actually it doesn't save cost. Maybe for a short period it may show as a cost saving, but ultimately it leads to a major cost which may be many times more than what we have saved in previous months. So maintenance cost saving concept may be good for a short term, but in long term it will lead to a major expense. So if we consider this, that we have to save cost on the long term basis, not on a short term or month basis or quarter basis, then it is important to go in for preventive maintenance and these kind of systems.
Now, sir, according to you, what are the most overlooked causes of repeated equipment failures in Indian manufacturing and construction setups?
I think it is mostly because the lubricants or coolants are the media which is basically maintaining the equipment or running the equipment properly. So ignoring the condition of the lubricant media or coolant is the main cause. So if attention is given to that aspect, then definitely it will help in improving the equipment life and reduce the maintenance expenses.
So how can MSMEs streamline spare parts management to reduce inventory costs while avoiding production halts?
I didn't get you. Can you repeat that question?
Sure. How can MSMEs streamline spare parts management to reduce inventory costs while avoiding production halts?
Inventory management means again same thing, that proper monitoring of the availability of the spare parts, implementing systems like ERP or stores management, which will keep on showing whether all the necessary spare parts are available, or predicting what kind of equipment may be required, what kind of equipment may cause failure. For example, bearings, which are one of the equipment which can have a failure at a certain interval. So any rotating or sliding components which may be prone to failure or prone to wear and tear, those kind of equipments can be marked and kept in the stock to keep the downtime less.
Now, sir, tell our attendees, can digital maintenance tools or cloud-based tools help in reducing costs? And if yes, Which tools have you seen work for smaller plants?
Nowadays, actually, there are a lot of IoT-based systems, monitoring systems are available, which can give you on your dashboard the machine operation and all the parameters of the machine. And this kind of data or information can help you in taking preventive steps. So IoT based, for example, even there are systems for CNC machine shop where the coolant levels have to be maintained. So which is now currently done manually. The operator goes and checks the coolant level of each machine, and if finds that coolant level is low, then he will top up that coolant. But this is a manual system where the mistakes are possible, or maybe some improper working is possible. So now there are systems which are IoT based and which sensor based, which can keep on continuously monitoring the levels, coolant levels, and all this machinery data can be on a dashboard. So the manager or management staff can see sitting at the desk what are the parameters of the machine, and if he sees anywhere there is a low level or any issue with the machine, so that machine can be attended immediately. So these systems are now available, which are quite useful for preventive maintenance.
So now talking about shop floor teams, according to you, how can shop floor teams be trained or empowered to take more ownership of routine maintenance and monitoring?
See, mainly, if the importance of the preventive maintenance is inculcated into the shop floor staff by regular briefing or regular maintenance, so when they know that this aspect is very important, then automatically more attention will be given to these kind of preventive maintenance activities. So, so this importance to maintenance has to come from the top management. The top management has to inculcate and show to the operating staff that yes, this is a very important aspect. If this message is not coming from the top management, then this may not be taken very seriously, or not be considered as a very important aspect by the operating staff. So top management's regular interaction with operating staff and clear-cut message that this is a very important aspect for the operation of the company will help in improving this.
So what gaps typically exist between R&D, production and maintenance teams that contribute to inefficiencies, and how can these be bridged?
I think any kind of a failure of the equipment or machine should be thoroughly investigated, and with the help of R&D or other internal departments, and this kind of data should be disseminated to all the concerned persons. So many times if there is a failure takes place, the priority is to just get that attended and machine put back to the use, and because the operation is going on, so this kind of analysis or a report may not be made, root cause analysis of that failure. If that root cause analysis report is made and then discussed and distributed among the related persons, so maybe it can prevent similar failure taking place again in future. So this may be an important aspect to do.
So now, have you seen any successful examples of MSMEs where only a change in process discipline or SOPs could have led to major maintenance cost savings?
Yes, now a lot of SMEs are giving importance to this routine monitoring, regular checking, and forming internal systems. So there are many SMEs which are already doing it and getting benefit out of it.
So how can MSMEs in the construction sector deal with the challenge of maintaining equipment that frequently moves between sites?
Yeah, so actually the construction segment is one of the very toughest environment where the equipments are working. For example, if you see mining sites, cement plants, So these are all these equipments are out in open to the weather's vagaries, rains, heat. Everything is they are subject to the equipment. Then they are mostly operating in very dusty environments. So that causes damages to the equipment. So there also some new equipments are available. For example, for the construction mining equipment, one of the major problem is the dust. And in this dusty environment, the air filters choke more frequently. And if these air filters are not cleaned at a regular interval, they lead to a loss of the power of the equipment and also higher wear and tear of the equipment. So there are now some new devices available which are called air pre-cleaners, which are a device which is installed before the air filter, and which is a mechanical device which takes out most of the dust from the air entering into the equipment, and that helps in giving cleaner air to the equipment, which again helps in reducing the wear and tear and the output of the machinery. So actually more care has to be taken for the equipment which are working in construction sites because of this very harsh working environment.
Now, so moving on, are there any specific maintenance practices or frameworks that you would recommend to MSMEs operating with limited technical bandwidth?
Yeah, regular maintenance practice is mainly the same thing, that monitoring the lubricant and coolants, their conditions, level of the coolants into the equipment, level of the lubricant in the equipment, checking their physical properties, and giving attention to their being in good condition.
So we've seen the industries pushing towards Industry 4.0. What's the first step you would recommend for a cost-conscious MSME looking to modernize their maintenance?
Again, same thing. There are a lot of IoT-based systems available, which can be installed on the equipment, which will help in continuous online real-time monitoring of the machinery. So instead of monitoring machinery once in a while, real-time information helps in taking a preventive action very quickly before it can lead to a major problem.
So if you want to design a maintenance or a new maintenance playbook specifically for MSMEs today, what are the 3 non-negotiable principles you would include in them?
One will be that management's commitment to the preventive maintenance aspect. Second thing will be the team's eagerness and again commitment to follow those instructions and get into systems. And third will be making the necessary equipments available to do the process properly. So I think these are 3 major important aspects for preventive maintenance.
So with that, we've come to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for being with us, sharing your detailed insights with our
Thank you. My pleasure. Thanks to all the participants. Thank you.
If you missed any part of the episode, go on YouTube, type GSW1 MSME, and find all the episodes uploaded there. Thank you once again. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.